Assalamu alaikum, family, peace, healing, and light. And welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, we have a special guest joining us today, Dr. Ridgely Muhammad, as we'll be discussing today's topic, farming, the foundation of human survival. Dr. Ridgely, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. And it's an honor to have you on my show. How are you?
I'm fine, praise be to Allah, and you're looking good, good-spirited, glad to be here, and we'll see what we can do.
Yes, sir. It is an honor again to have you on my show. All praises is due to Allah. I'm looking forward to this conversation. All praises due to Allah. And for those who do not know who Dr. Ridgely Muhammad is, I would like to share a short bio. Dr. Ridgely Abdul Mu'min was born in 1951 in Winston-Salem, NC. He joined the Nation of Islam in 1971 while attending Columbia University in NYC. He received a BS in 1976 in Agricultural Economics from NCA&T State University. From 1976 to 1980, he ran his own jewelry making and repair business. He went back to graduate school in 1980 and received a MS degree in 1982 in Agricultural Economics from NCA&T State University. He received a PH.D. in Agricultural Economics from Michigan State University with a minor in finance and a specialty in systems science in 1987. He taught agricultural economics and conducted research on small farms, financial management at NCA&T from 1986 to 1990. From 1990 to 1995, he designed, printed, and distributed T-shirts nationally featuring positive Black poems on the back. He has done extensive research on ancient African history, the pyramids of Egypt, and the history of agriculture. From 1995 until now, he has managed the Nation of Islam 1,556 acre farms in Georgia and is the student minister of agriculture for the Nation of Islam. He is also vice president of the original Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association. He is also the vice president of the Staple Goods Project Co-op, Inc. He has written a number of articles in referred journals, the Final Call newspaper, and a few books, including 1, The Secret Waters of the Great Pyramid, 2, I Will Not Apologize, The Resurrection of the Master Architect, 3, The Science of Business of Farming versus the Art and Hobby of Gardening, 4, Image of the Beast, 5, Commonomics, Developing a Post Yakub Economy, and 6, Commonomics II, The Sheepdog and Evil Shepherd. He also is an appreciative member of the Nation of Islam Research Group or team of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So beautiful. All praises is due to Allah. Now let's get started. Yes. Now let's get started on today's episode, Farming, the Foundation of Human Survival. And please, for my audience today, do not hesitate to put any questions you may have for our special guest, Dr. Ridgely Muhammad, in the comment box below. Inshallah, if it be the will of Allah, we will strive to get to all of the questions. So today's episode is just so important to me because in the most recent years, we have all seen a rise in inflation causing skyrocket prices in the food industry, including shortages. There is no better time than now to learn how we can grow our own foods for better health and a better life. However, it is also vital that we obtain the knowledge of the importance of farming for human survival. So before we begin, you guys, I would like to allow our brother, Dr. Ridgely, to share a brief presentation. Welcome, Dr. Ridgely.
Okay, put that picture up.
Yes, sir.
One of the reasons why I have a smile on my face and I'm kind of relaxed is that we had just finished this past Sunday planting 200 acres of wheat, from which we make flour, cream of whole wheat, and a muffin mix. Well, you can just see there in the 72-acre field, all as far as the eye can see, that's been plowed up. And you see those little green leaves from the wheat sticking up, the crops. Just germinated yesterday. So they just getting started. And we're going to keep people informed on our website, noimoa.org, about the growth of this wheat, because we take it all the way from the seed, and then we grow it and we harvest it, and then we actually have a flour mill, have two flour mills, as a matter of fact now, and we make the flour from it, whole wheat flour, pastry flour, cream of whole wheat, and Sister Ann's special cream of whole wheat muffin mix.
Yes.
So it takes, to do this one field, I have to go over it. Let's see. First, I got to burn off the weeds. 1. 2, I have to harrow it. 3, I have to plant the seed. I have to spread the seed on it. And then 4, I then have to harrow it in. Now, this is 72-acre field. 72-acre field, that's about 60 football fields.
Wow.
Okay, 60 football fields. But this, again, we planted 200. So now we're talking about 160 football fields.
Wow.
That's what we've planted. So I'm smiling because the hell is over.
Yes.
Okay, we hell to get it done. But that's one of the beauties. You can take it down there. That's one of the beauties of farming. You catch hell, but then you can see the benefit of your work.
Yes.
If Allah blesses you and Mama Nature allows you to have a crop, have it to germinate, it is the most beautiful feeling in the world. One of them. I want to say it because there's a lot of other feelings I got is beautiful too. My wife, I don't want to say, well, what about me? Okay, anyway. But, that's what I call it, Mother Earth. When she produces for you, it is definitely gratifying. And so the farmers are one of the few people left in the world that actually can see the product of their labor. Most people work on an assembly line or in an office somewhere, and they don't really see the final product of what they're doing. They're just another cog in the wheel of somebody else's deal. Okay, but with farming, you do it all, and so you see, and you need God. That's why you have to pray, because I cannot make that seed germinate. It takes between 8 and 10 days for the seed to germinate once I plant it. I can't go back and turn the soil up and look at it, because if I turn the soil up and look at it, guess what? I have replanted it. So now I gotta have to wait another 8 to 10 days. So you have to pray that what you did worked, and that now you're going to have a crop. So when it does come up, then you can all you can say is all praise is due to Allah. Okay, so that's why I am in such good spirits, because ain't nothing broke. Now when I go back out to do the next, something go break, and then don't call me on my phone when I'm on the tractor with all in my face, and then say, well, you sound like you got an attitude. I'm catching hell. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So anyway, most of them I don't even answer the phone when I'm catching hell, because people ain't ready to deal with it. So, but when you get it all done, can't nobody take that feeling from you. What you have accomplished, overcoming all obstacles, bearing witness that there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, because there's so many things going on in the world today that I can see his hand. His hand, and actually through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, affecting the world stage. Not going to get into that part, because I am on the research team and we do a lot of other research, and I write books on other things other than farming. But today we're going to deal mostly with agriculture.
Yes.
So hit me with the questions. I love
Yes,
praise.
yes, yes. All praises due to Allah. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. And it was just so exciting to see that. Like, I know we just spoke before we got on the show, but just seeing the amount of work and dedication that you have to put into doing that. Oh my gosh. All praises due to Allah. So grateful for you because I love our muffins.
That's the
Praise be
joy.
to Allah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, my first question for you, Dr. Ridgely, is what inspired you to dedicate your life to the ministry of agriculture?
You see that man right there? Honorable Elijah Muhammad, most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I joined the Nation of Islam when I was in college at Columbia University in New York. I joined under the voice of Minister Farrakhan. In other words, I went to the mosque and to Temple number 7, and I joined. And I was in economics. That was my field at Columbia University. But then when I joined the Nation of Islam and studying the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the time of what must be done, nation building, he said that we needed farmers.
Mm.
So I said, okay, farming, agriculture, but I'm in economics. So what I did was go to North Carolina A&T, transfer from Columbia down there, and took up agricultural economics. So I had the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what inspired me. And then I had visited the very farm that I work on now in 1975. Talked with the farm manager and told him I would like to work at the farm when I graduated in 1976. But when I graduated in 1976, the farm was still owned by the family of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but they had sold off all the equipment and they were leasing out the land to somebody else. So my dreams were smashed. That's when I went into jewelry making because I had started selling jewelry, costume jewelry, my last year in college because my scholarship ran out and they said that I had to get a loan. So I wasn't about to get a loan the last semester of college. So I learned from the brothers in Birmingham, the temple there, how to get and sell costume jewelry door to door. And that's how I made my living for my last semester while at A&T. And then I went to the community school, college, to learn jewelry making. So I learned jewelry making. And so I went into business for myself. Ohio State University offered me a full scholarship to get a PhD. But I said, no. I said, I've studied enough theory. I need to go into business a little bit to see how it really works. And then I'll be ready to come back, maybe, and get a master's and a PhD. But right now, I wanted to actually get into business so I can see how things work from the ground up. So that's what I did. And then later on, I came back, got my master's from North Carolina A&T, and then my PhD from Michigan State. And right now, let me say this. What I learned, what I will be talking to you about, is not something I learned in college. I learned this by doing and then research, in particular because the Black farmers came to me to ask the minister for help in their struggle against the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And so the way I could help them was to do research for them. So that's what I did, studying the history of the relationship between the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Black farmers. And so I learned so much. I learned so much that I had to apologize to Black farmers for thinking that I knew how to make them better farmers. I thought that Black farmers were not stupid. No, stupid. Stupid. And since the black farmers lost their land, that's because they were stupid.
Mm.
So I thought that I could help them do financial management, like software package, so they can help better run their farm, etc. And I didn't find out until I really got out here that it wasn't that they could not farm.
Mm.
It wasn't that they couldn't count. They didn't know. And even today, don't want to believe that the U.S. Department of Agriculture was set up explicitly to take their land.
Mm.
And so this is their country. They don't want to believe that they went to war, to the military, to fight for America, and that the U.S. Department of Agriculture was designed to steal their land.
Mm.
So I didn't find this out until me studying the history of that relationship, and it became very clear that they planned it and they executed it, and every year they come out with new tricks, as though they had a meeting somewhere and said, this is the trick we're going to use on the black farmers this year. And then next year they come with another trick. What I find is out from talking to black farmers who were tricked and find out how the tricks were. They do it this year, they did it here, and they did it here, here, and here. Next year they did something different, but guess what? They did it in all different states. Same thing. So this has all been planned. So people talk about conspiracy theories. I actually studied a conspiracy theory, a conspiracy. So this was how they stole the black farmers' land. But that's how I got into it because of the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then Allah blessed me after coming and helping the minister reestablish the Nation of Islam, blessed me to be offered an opportunity to be the farm manager for the very farm that I wanted to work at when I finished college. But I wasn't blessed to do that until 19 years later. Exactly 19 years later, I wound up on the farm that I thought I was going to work on, but now I'm a farm manager. Wow. So I happen to know personally Allah is God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. He has guided my life. I didn't know what I was doing and still don't know most of what I'm doing. He guided my life. So this is my repayment to Master Farad Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan for giving me life and giving me a purpose in life. Okay, so being my wife in particular, we just love working at the farm, being on the farm, because we want to pay back the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for bringing back to us the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
So beautiful. All praises is due to Allah. Such an honor, and we're so grateful to have you. Like, so grateful and grateful for your work. So all praises is due to Allah, Dr. Ridgely. I do see here that we do have a question here from one of the audience here. Question from Tony Muhammad, my brother. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ridgely. On the market, the majority of rice and flour-based products are enriched, which really means grafted and chemicalized. How is supporting the products coming from Muhammad farms an important part of our healing as a people?
Well, thank you very much for the question. And yes, our products are not chemicalized. Our products don't have no GMO, genetically modified organisms. Our product is better than organic. I say better than organic because 40% of what's in the stores today, like Whole Foods, and also in the grocery stores, the USDA has done the research, tested it. 40% of that is not organic. They got stuff in it that ain't supposed to be there. 40%. So from us, you're getting the real deal, but you don't know what you're getting when you go into the white man's store. You'll find out later how he's tricked you. He's a liar. Now, by supporting us with the Staple Goods Project, and also by coming and getting watermelons and other produce in the summer and in the spring and fall, we're developing another market for the black farmer. The black farmer had markets in segregation. Okay, we had our own high schools, segregated high schools, but we could serve them with food. We had our own colleges. We had our own restaurants. Okay. We had our own stores. We had our own hotels. But with integration, we lost all of that. And the white man has not allowed us in his market. So we got to establish a market for ourselves. This is one thing we learned from the secret relationship between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, was that the Jews did not start off growing cotton with slaves in Mississippi. They started off selling cotton that they bought from Egypt and India, and then made the cotton into cloth and took over the cloth making market in Europe. So they supplied the cloth, they supplied they made the clothes, the fabrics. The Jews control that, and they did not want to continue to buy their cotton from Egypt and India. So they brought us over here and killed the Native Americans, poisoned them. It wasn't a six-shooter, and it wasn't the Swiss and Westerns. It was poison. They poisoned the Native Americans, killed their cattle, the bison, that was their cattle, and then took their land and then brought us over here to grow cotton because we knew how to grow cotton, okay? Because we were doing it in Africa. So they got into production after they controlled the market. So we are trying to develop a market so that the farmer will have a market for his products. That he can grow and we can market it for him, but as a cooperative, so he shares in the benefit of the marketing process as well. So farmers should be in part of the whole process from the land all the way to the man, because the profit comes after the raw product has been processed and distributed. For instance, in a loaf of bread, what's a loaf of bread cost? Around what, $3-4? How much would you guess does the farmer get out of the loaf of bread in terms of the wheat that makes the bread? A loaf of bread.
Not much.
How about 9 cents? 9 cents. $0.09, 9 cents. Out of a $3 or $4 loaf of bread, the wheat in the bread is paid to the farmer at 9 cents per pound. Now, is that a good business model for the farmer? So at Muhammad Farms, we grow the wheat, and then we mill the wheat, and then we sell the wheat to a co-op directly to the consumer, going around the middleman all the way.
Yes.
So this is what we're telling farmers, Black farmers. Watch our example. You got to get into value added. If you want, for instance, let's say you want to be a peach farmer, grow peaches. Well, what you just start off with while you're in college, one of y'all go to culinary arts school and another goes to farming school. And then you start making peach pies while you're still in college. And you know that college people love sweets, especially middle of the night, especially if they know, you know what I'm talking about. They love sweets. So you have peach cobbler, and you have the best peach cobbler on campus, and next thing in the community, and next thing in a region. They want your peach cobbler, your peach pie. Well, you plant your trees, and it'll take 6 to 7 years before your trees can produce peaches. But by the time your trees producing peaches, you control a certain sector of the market for peach pies, peach dumplings. Now you take your peaches and you put it in your pie. Before you've been buying from the grocery store or the wholesale market or the farmer's market or individual farmers. You were buying your peaches. But now you've got a market. So now you put your peach in your pie and you can control everything from the man all the way to the land, from the land to the man. Okay? Making all the money in between with no middleman. Okay? So we are trying to be the example of how to develop a market and then provide a market. Because right there in our Step of Goods project, we have 12 of the products come from Muslims, 4 of them from Muhammad Farms, and then another 8 other Muslims across the nation who producing products, value-added products that go into our total mix of products that we distribute.
Mm-hmm.
So we not only give you good food, we're also providing a market for other farmers, because the key in farming is to have a market for your product and get the right price where you can make a profit, because the system is designed that a small farmer cannot make enough money on a small farm from selling raw product to the market. You got to be able to transform that. Now, I tell you, people don't like to cook no more. But if you're able to have it already cooked for them, they'll buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you set up a food truck. Okay. And then you can grow your tomatoes and put it in your own sandwich. You understand what I'm saying? Because they would buy it if they ain't got, they so sorry. They so sorry. They so sorry. We saw this. We saw a sister lady buying frozen cheese and bologna sandwich.
Oh, wow.
Frozen cheese and bologna. You're too sorry to take 2 pieces of bread, slap a piece of cheese and some bologna on it. You go buy a frozen cheese and bologna sandwich. So the people do not want to cook. Now you can use EBT at McDonald's. You can be able to, you can forget it. They never go back to the kitchen. They can go to McDonald's, McDeath, and Murder King and kill their damn self for the card. They ain't never going back to the kitchen. And that is the plan. So we're trying to show the people the farmers and our people. The people are the ones who control the market. No, they don't. They are the market, but they don't control themselves. Somebody else controls them. So they tell them what to buy and advertise them all the time. Put out basketball players selling this and that, football players selling this, entertainers selling this and that. Get into our culture, use our culture to market the products to us. Okay? But we going to have to market our own products to ourselves, do trade and commerce amongst ourselves. And that's the only way we will be economically free from the enemy.
Broke it down. All praise is due to Allah. We have to do for self.
Or die a slave.
There you go.
That's one of my t-shirts from 1990. Do for self or die a slave. And that t-shirt, it was white people who bought it first. This is 1990. Black folks were scared of it because it said, do for self or die a slave. White folks said, well, that's right. Because they realized if they work on the job, they're a slave too, to whoever owns the job. So as they saw white people wearing it, the black folks said, well, I guess I can wear it too. That's what I still sell that t-shirt. Do for self or die a slave. Kissing behind in the master's cage. Nobody cage, but they just can't get loose from that hourly wage. So they see you out trying to do something for self, they get pissed because you might get some of the master's wealth. They say you don't have a right to make a profit unless it all goes back into the master's pocket. So they pass by your businessman with no money, put no money in your hand. Because if you break through, that could have proved they could have done the same thing too. That's from 1990.
You broke it down. I think I'm gonna need one of them shirts.
Yeah. It's sure we have some for Savings Day.
Yes. All praises due to Allah. I'm sorry, you guys. This is just so exciting to me because I got into farming 2 years ago, and I just love everything about it. So again, just to have you on a show and you just breaking it down, all praises due to Allah. All right, let me calm down. I'm too excited. Thank you for your question, Brother Tony Muhammad. All praises due to Allah. So my next question here for you is, how has the practice of farming evolved throughout human history?
Well, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he teaches us that what the first job, the first career was the farmer, tilling the land. And the second was taking care of the animals, the sheep, the cows. So you had farming, tilling the land, and then taking care of the animals, the cattle. The two beginnings. Now, the Nile Valley, in our teachings, we say that we, the tribe of Shabazz, says Allah God, were the first to discover the best part, you can put that up, of our planet to live on, the rich Nile Valley of Egypt and the present city of the holy city Mecca, Arabia. So you see the picture of the Sphinx there. Well, the nose has been blown off. Napoleon did that because that nose distinctively shows that person is a black person. And it's a black woman. That's a whole nother story. It's not Kafra, who they say it is. It's a black woman representing ISIS. But anyway, she's looking out over the delta region of Egypt. It's a delta shaped like a Greek D, but it's a delta, and it's the most fertile land in the world. And this land was actually formed by deposits from the Nile Valley, from the Nile River, putting deposits in the valley and then building up over time. And every year they have a flood for 40 days, 40 nights. And when it left, the flood went down, it left new soil, new topsoil. The people moved up on mounds, up on the hilltops to wait out the flood and then come back down and farm and have new soil every year without weeds in it. Okay, because of the flooding of the Nile Valley. That doesn't happen anymore because they put the Aswan Dam up, and that blocked the river from bringing down the deposits every year. Now, next slide. You know, one of my hobbies is ancient Egypt and Africa and agriculture. Well, it all comes together in the pyramids. You know, they try to say that the pyramids were tombs. The Great Pyramid, here's a cut through of it so you can see what's inside. If you look up on the right, it says air vents. If you look down underneath it, it's a lake connected by tunnels to the inside of the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Now, two things a dead man don't need. He don't need air, and he don't need water. So why does the Great Pyramid have 4 air shafts and underneath it a lake that they made? It's been rediscovered in 1930. It was rediscovered. But Herodotus talked about it in 440 BC. He was told that there was a lake underneath the Giza Plateau, underneath the Great Pyramid. And there's not been one pharaoh that they found in a pyramid. They found the kings of Egypt and the queens of Egypt in a place called the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, not in pyramids. Because when they opened pyramids, 72 of them, 12 of them had water in the basement. So what's water doing there? You don't want to bury nobody in water or near water because it's going to rot. So something else was going on. And so we have in our first book, Amen, the Secret Waters of the Great Pyramid, that the Great Pyramid is a water irrigation purification system that purified the underground water and then distributed to the people along the Nile Valley and in the Delta, and that 40 days that they could not drink the Nile water because it was putrid from washing up, going through the valley, washing up all the animal waste and everything was in that, including the strychnine worms. So you couldn't drink the water for 40 days, but so they had to have fresh water. So that's why they built the pyramid to have fresh water and irrigation water for their crops. So that's a whole nother story. But that's how we developed agriculture. Agriculture means land. We were masters at that, and even came over here and taught the Native Americans how to do it. That's why they had those mounds in America, along the Mississippi River in particular, and all major rivers. They had these bounds. Well, these were they were pyramids that people would go up on and wait out the flood. That's why they had a flat top. They would wait out the flood for the each year. So we taught agriculture. People came in from all over the world to Egypt to go to school to learn agriculture and other sciences. So the roots of agriculture. And you ever heard of a bean counter? What's a bean counter? A bean counter is an accountant. Well, guess what? That's what you have to have when you grow a lot of beans. You have to have bean counters, somebody to keep up with it, to distribute it to the people. So civilization really starts with agriculture. Okay. Astronomy. Why you need astronomy? Because you need to know when that flood gonna come. You need to know what time it is. That's what you need astronomy for. Not some zodiac sign, but for you to know what time it is, so you know to get out of the way of the flood. Also, in terms of farming, you got to plant the seed on time. If you plant the seed out of time, the seed will not germinate. The seed got more sense than we do. You plant the seed wrong, the seed ain't coming up because look, this ain't when I supposed to be planted. It ain't coming up. So you got to know the time and then what must be done. So all these different sciences really stem from farming and agriculture that we developed in Africa millions of years ago, not just thousands of years ago. We've been on this planet a long time, and we know how to survive on this planet a long time. Only now have we been made stupid and lazy so that we don't want to know how to farm, because we don't want to work with our hands. We don't want to do nothing except get paid. Just want to get paid so you can get laid. Go get a bunch of money, so somebody say, so you want to have a rap, want to have a dance, and then you want to, come on, y'all. They messed us up. Slavery didn't mess us up. Slavery killed us. But integration and getting into the white man's world, that's what messed us up. Now we're sorry. We're just like the white man. We're made into him. We're his child. We are the children of Israel. Israel is all white folk. And we are his children, and we're acting real dumb and stupid at this time. Some of us are becoming non-blind anymore, and they're going back to the land, and they're ready to get their hands a little bit dirty so they can go back to the plan that God made you in to stay on the planet Earth, which is heaven. This is supposed to be heaven, but the enemy has made it a hell for us. So now even we are committing suicide. Never heard of black folks committing suicide, man. Black folks, if you want to die, this is what black man do. Black man get drunk, go down to the police station, take off his shirt, and start shooting at the damn police. That's how you make suicide as a black man. Nobody gonna no, you make somebody take your life if you got to go out like that. But now we just take our own life. Why? Because we are frustrated. You know, somebody said, how's life treating you? Well, let me see. I got some life. Okay. Life's treating me pretty good. You, that's another story. Why don't you ask how you treat me? But life, I got some life. Life is treating me fine. I'm sorry. I keep going. Next question.
No, Dr. Ridgely, you are fine. All praises is due to Allah. Thank you so much for breaking that down. And if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, please, please show your support by donating today to Healing with Angelica to help sustain future episodes just like this. And also, if you all are enjoying all of the broadcasts here on CTG Broadcast, please show your support as well by donating today. Information to donate will be shown on your screen below. I absolutely love you all. Now let's get back to today's show, Farming the Foundation of Human Survival with Dr. Ridgely Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. Now, my next question here for you is, now there is a quote that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan quoted, and it states, "The farm is the engine of our national life." Could you explain in your own words what he meant when he stated this?
Well, everything starts off with a product. Okay? You must have a product to survive. You must have food, you must have clothing, you must have shelter. Now, food, clothing, and shelter all come from the land. Okay? Everything comes out of the land or the ocean. Okay, but food, clothing, shelter comes out of the land. So that's where it all starts. And then when you take a tree and you cut down the tree, then that's a job for somebody. And then when you take the tree and you build a house, that's a job for somebody else. So in other words, agriculture produces the raw products to feed into the industries that's going to supply the final goods, products to the people. So everything starts off with the land and starts off with extracting from the land what's in the land to be utilized by yourself or others to make products for people to consume. So that's how it's the engine. However, if you don't intend to do nothing, you don't need no land, because they're gonna charge you taxes on that land. They're gonna take it because you ain't be able to pay the taxes. So you got to do something. Somebody just has, hey, I got 10 acres. Yeah, okay, but you paying tax on that 10 acres, right? And if you don't pay it, they're gonna take it, right? So you don't really own it. So you better do something with it, or the government gonna take it from you. Okay, they just loan it out to you. Okay, so you still got to be productive. So that means you got to learn how to do something. Now we used to teach agriculture in school. Vocational agriculture used to be taught in high school, but in the 60s they wiped that out. They wiped it out on purpose because they didn't want people to learn how to farm no more. Okay, now then you used to have carpentry in school. You used to have plumbing in school. You used to have typing in school. You used to have accounting in school. You used to have those things in high school. But they took all that out. So now all you have is a bunch of book learning so you can pass the test to go to college. You get more book learning. So you can get, then they tell you, well, you just got theory. Now you're going to have to get a master's to get a little bit more specific and learn some type of skill. So you get your master's. Then they tell you, well, that's good, but if you really want to get into a field, you really got to get your PhD. So you take all that time to get your PhD, and then they put you in a hole somewhere, and you do research that nobody ever sees except Monsanto or the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and you do nothing to help yourself or your people. Now you become a slave, a high-paid slave, and so you spend all that time to get this degree. You're not going to step back and go into farming like me. So that's how the game goes. But it all starts, if you want to build a nation, it all starts with land and some hands from the man to transform the land into things that people need and want. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, teach your children how to study people to find out their needs and their wants, and then go get training to produce those needs and to supply those needs and wants, and then they have a living for themselves. People, okay, tennis shoes. There used to be sandals. Then there used to be leather shoes. Now everybody want an Air Jordan. Air Jordan cost $200. I can't believe somebody paid $200. $200. It's made in the same factory where Stephon Marbury's $35 shoe is made, tennis shoe. But nobody wants Stephon Marbury's shoe for $35. They want Air Jordans. Now I'm going to ask you a question. I don't know, maybe it's happening, but I ain't never seen nobody who with an Air Jordan can jump. See, 35 and the 200 is about at least 6. I ain't never seen nobody who here you got your Stephon Marbury shoe, and you can jump maybe 2 feet. So therefore, if you have an Air Jordan, you should be able to jump 6 times 2, 12 feet. Straight up. You're paying 6 times the money. So you're able to jump 6 times as high. You are a fool. You've been fooled. You've been played. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. Okay? They do it every day, and you pay for it in every way. And now you ain't got nothing even for your child to have an education. Why? Because you wearing $200 shoes that it don't make you jump no higher. If you can't play no ball with stuff on Marbury's $35 shoes, you put no Air Jordan, you still ain't gonna be able to play no ball. You still ain't gonna be able to play no ball. Okay? All right, whatever. I'm crazy. I know it. But I feel good because that week came up.
Yes.
Feel good that week came up.
I know you do. All praise is due to Allah. And at the end of the day, I'm laughing because you're just being realistic. You're being honest. Because that's really how it is.
Look,
our mindset is
farmers. Let me say something. farmers got to be realistic. Okay, for instance, like this wheat. You got to plant wheat between Thanksgiving and Christmas. You got to plant it between that time period. If you plant it before then in the spring, when the wheat is put on the heads, the little seeds, if a cold freeze spell comes, it's going to put a black spot on the tip of that seed, and you're not going to be able to sell it in the market. So you don't want to plant down here before Thanksgiving, not too much before Thanksgiving, because then that may be a late frost, hard cold on your wheat, and then you can't sell it. So, but then if you wait until after Christmas, then it might come up, it might not, and then when it comes up, it doesn't have enough root structure to produce a good crop in May when you harvest, May and June when you harvest. So you got to do it within that time frame. Now, whether you're doing 10 acres, 5 acres, or like we just did 200 acres, all praise due to Allah, but you got to do it within that time frame. You only got 30 days to do it all. So that's why they have big and big equipment. But with big and big equipment come bigger and bigger expenses when that stuff breaks. The Mama Nature will break your behind. She'll tear you up. I mean, I have left plows, pieces of plow. I'm driving, I hear something, boom. Look back, and a piece of the plow is stuck in the ground. This done broke the damn plow. So now I got to go and fix this damn plow or buy another one. So if you're trying to go too hard, you think you got a lot of power, you got 155 horsepower, okay, you go kick it and all this transmission you think here, got that torque, you go do this, you get you a plow and you put it there, and Mama Lady said, snatch! Okay, so, but you got to have bigger stuff. Why do you have to have bigger stuff? Because you got to do bigger volume. Why? Because the price of the product does not sustain the farmer. They made this on purpose like this. At one time, a farmer who grew wheat in 1910, he could take the wheat and sell it at the market, take the money, and buy 22 loaves of bread. Now, a farmer can sell this wheat, a bushel of wheat, 56 pounds in the market, and only can buy 2 loaves of bread. He used to be able to buy 22 loaves of bread. He can only buy 2 loaves of bread. So really, it ain't worth even selling it to the market. You need to take it and make it into flour, because for 1 bushel of wheat, 56 pounds, you can make 40 loaves of bread. 40 loaves of bread from the flour that comes from a bushel of wheat. If you mill it into flour, then you can make 40 loaves of bread. Whereas if you sell the wheat at $4 or $5 a bushel, 56 pounds, you're only going to be able to buy at the most 2 loaves of bread. And if it's real good bread, you're only going to be able to buy 1 loaf. So they set the system up so that the small farmer will not be able to survive, and the big farmers got to buy more and more equipment to expand his production, which increases his risk. And so when you have expanded your production, you got all these costs that you're putting into production. Now, if equipment break down, you're in trouble because you can't get things done on time. And if you got a loan, you got to pay this loan back, and you wind up losing everything because of 1 piece of equipment broke. What does it take for 1 piece of equipment to break and you can't get it fixed? Because just 1 screw. Each part of these fancy tractors have special parts that you can only get from the dealership. You just can't go down to the store and get it. So therefore, if your dealership don't have it, you in trouble. We just got some remotes. That's the thing that you stick your hoses into the back of your tractor so you can use your hydraulics. John Deere, because of COVID, some of the companies went down who supply them their remotes. So they got it from an off-market deal, probably Chinese. And that stuff don't work. It'll jam you up in the middle of the damn day, like it did with me 3 times. Then I went and got the original type, because now they got them in, but now they don't want to pay me for the ones they sold me that they didn't make. They said, we didn't make it. Yeah, but you sold it to me. So you should take this back and give me the ones that you make, because you didn't make it then when I needed it, so you gave me this. We paid for it. So then I got to argue with them just to get the money back from the defective part that messed me up, wasted my time for a whole day. Okay, I digress. Next question.
Ooh, I definitely believe that. I definitely believe it. Ooh, all praises due to Allah. I do see here we did have a question here from let me see here, go back from the audience here. I think this is a good question because I would like to know as well. So let me see here. Question from, I might get your name wrong. Ahmad Majid. Assalamu alaikum, beloved. Are you involved in any project sharing your live production farming experience, especially in terms of helping new and young Black farmers and ranchers to set up strong business models? It would be awesome.
Well, why don't you come down here and help me? Then I can teach you. Simple.
Okay.
I don't have time to teach you. Who's gonna run the farm? Who's gonna fix the tractors? I'm teaching you. But if you come, I can teach you and work you. We'll pay you for work, and you can learn. And then you can ask me questions, and I answer the questions. That's how you learn. You see, when they took vocational agriculture out of school, and then when they took the children of the farmer, the government offered scholarships to farmers, well, not to them, but to the children, to go to college, to study anything but agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't give them the scholarship to study agriculture. They give them the scholarship to study anything but agriculture, so they would never come back to the farm. For instance, even when they learned agriculture, they may not be able to come back to the farm. We had an apprenticeship program down here at Muhammad Farms. We had a number of young Black men that go through the program. However, we could not afford to hire them when they finished college. Mm-hmm. Because when they finish college, they're making $60 an hour. $60 an hour. We pay $10. Okay? So how are we going to keep them down on the farm? So that's what happens. They go away to college, and he don't work on the farm. He works in a chicken production system. I'm not going to name the company, but it's similar to Purdue, you know. So you pay him $60 an hour. So you come out of college, you can work for the big corporations or the U.S. Department of Agriculture. You're not going to be able to get into farming because, for instance, we bought a 155 horsepower International 7220 tractor in 1997. It cost $75,000. That same International tractor, the same 155 horsepower tractor, new, cost $225,000. So how can you get into farming from scratch and you don't have $225,000? You have to borrow it, and you borrow it, now you may lose your land. So what do the white farmers do? They get the money from the government. They get the money from I did the research. I didn't know none of this. They didn't teach me this at Michigan State. I had to learn on my own, looking at what happened to Black farmers. Right here in this county right here, we used to get money from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but they put up on blast Glenn Beck, the Chicago Tribune, that Mr. Farrakhan was milking the government. So Mr. Farrakhan said, no more money from the government, get the money back. Now let me tell you how much money we was getting from the government. 1,556 acre farm, we was getting $8,000 a year. $8,000 a year. That ain't paying for one labor at $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. But they put that on blast. Now, at the same time, while over a 17-year period, we got $114,000, $8,000 a year. In that same period, in this county alone, Terrell County, 100 white farmers got $500,000, $500,000. 50 white farmers got $1 million in Terrell County, where we at, right here. And the chairman of the county commissioners got $6.5 million. You don't hear nothing about them. But they complain about us getting $114,000 over a 17-year period.
Yeah.
Where they get this type of money is chicken feed. This is how they're able to operate, because the government, and why the government giving them money? Minister Farrakhan has told us about Kissinger and his depopulation plan back in 1974. And in that plan, he had the USDA as a part of the plan. Well, they intend to take away the land, not only from the American black farmers, but from the African and Asian farmers. Okay? And so this has been a plot to get the people off the land so they can have control of their food, so then they can give them poison. So yeah, come on down here, help out. I'll teach you. We'll pay you too.
Yes, sir. It's nothing like just going out there and just being around and doing the work, actually.
Well, one other thing. You know why I said come out here and help me? Show you how to do some things. Do you know that the farmers today are training their replacement? And it ain't gonna be their son. It ain't gonna be their daughter. It's gonna be AI. Because if you get in the management program for John Deere, they can help you manage your farm. They put a sensor all over your tractor. It keeps up with everything that tractor does on every inch of land. It knows how deep to plow, how deep to put the seed, how fast to go, where to turn, where to stop. You're teaching it. And so that when you're gone and Bill Gates and them buy up your land, they're going to buy the computer program that goes with the land. So they can run your farm from a cave. Because you train your replacement. AI. AI ain't learning from itself. It's learning from you. Because you train it. And now they're going to be able to sell what you train it to do to somebody else to replace you.
We got to get on board. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what we're seeing now. It's AI.
By 2030, John Deere said by 2030, they will not make a tractor that a human being can drive.
Wow.
All robots, all AI. The tractor, the grain combine, the sprayers, everything will be completely automated. Then you can run it from a cave. Like in, let's see, what was that movie? The Matrix? This about to be real, y'all.
We're in this time. It's here.
Yeah,
All praises due to Allah. Ooh, oh my gosh. This is so beautiful, Dr. Ridgely. Now, we are getting towards the end of the show. It's so many questions I still had, and we're going to have to probably do a part two, because this topic in general needs its own podcast. It needs its own show, because it's so, so vital that we have to understand why we have to really get into farming. This is important. So all praises due to Allah. Now, I do have a few more questions before we end today's show. Now, how can we begin to get ourselves out of the food desert that is to come?
Well, they're not going to starve us to death. They're just going to feed us death. Have you heard of fake meat? Have you heard of fake milk? Have you heard of fake eggs? Have you heard of plants being grown in skyscraper type greenhouses with no sunlight and no soil? Nothing but a mist of chemicals blown at their roots and LED lighting. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the sun is what gives us the vitamins through the plants. But now they're growing plants with no sunshine. So it's going to have carbohydrates, but no vitamins. So this is what they're doing now. That's when you get into the store, it says certified organic. Guess what? America is the only country in the world that allows these crops grown without sunlight, without soil, to be considered certified organic.
Mm.
They're feeding the roots the same chemicals that a farmer would put on his land, but if he puts it on his land, then his crop is not organic. But they're able to blow these chemicals at the root of these crops, and these crops are certified organic by the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Mm.
Like I said, they're the enemy. They're not your friend. So, you ever heard of Soylent Green?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you too young. There's a movie came out in 1973. Starring Charlton Heston called Soylent Green. And there's this wafer that everybody was eating. And eventually he traced it down to find out that it was human beings. They would kill human beings and turn them into a wafer called Soylent Green. There's a company, go look it up, Soylent.com, Soylent.com. Started in 2013 by this young white boy, Reinhardt. And it's producing a food replacement, and he calls it Soylent. And he said he chose the name Soylent because he knew the people go think about Soylent Green and then wonder whether he had humans in there, but he's not going to have humans in there. But guess what? Because you got your attention, you might try it anyway.
Mm.
So he's made millions of dollars off Soylent, and there ain't no soy in it, and there ain't no lentils. It's only soybeans and lentils. There ain't no soy in it, and ain't no lentils. It's 35 chemicals that he done put together in this concoction. He's not a doctor. He said he learned it on the internet. Okay, what humans need. And this dude is so wicked. I'm gonna read you one thing. He got some sayings, and these are people who growing your food, making your food for you. They're not gonna grow it no more. They're gonna make it for you. He said plants are man's enemy. Plants are competition for us. He said plants were not evolved to feed us. They're competition. And if they had the opportunity, they would kill us.
Mm.
That's how this man thinks. That's how these white young people think who making money. They don't give a kitty about you or me. They're making money. Now there's a problem with that saying. Him saying that plants are the enemy. They were not evolved to feed us. Okay? Plants breathe in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Humans breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So actually there's a symbiotic relationship between humans and plants. So plants were evolved to feed us. Mm-hmm. See, we are taught in the Nation of Islam that Allah, God, created the heavens and the earth to serve us. So the plants were made to serve us, and they do. But this white boy says, no, they're in competition with us. For what? They don't drink they don't drink our oxygen. They don't eat our oxygen. They eat the carbon dioxide that we give out as waste. They transform it into oxygen, which we need to survive. So they were evolved for us, but you wanted to destroy plants. You want to call the plant the enemy. Now, you know, they didn't call all type of people terrorists, but now this dude will call the plant the terrorist. If he had an opportunity, he would kill us, the plant. He was a damn liar, cracker. But this is the mindset of these people who we've been warned against. Yeah, we better get our behinds back on some land because these people ain't playing. It's the end of their time, and they're probably produced the perfect crime. They're going to take you out smiling all the time. They're going to feed you to death, and it's going to be delicious. And you know how they know it's going to be delicious? They've had years and years of experimentation on our prisoners. People put in jail, you want to get out on time? Take this here, experiment. You be a part of this experiment, and we give you some time off so you can get out early. What they're doing? Testing products on us. So now they got it ready for the market. They know it's going to be delicious. It's going to be delectable, but it's going to be death. we came out of slavery,
Mm.
a mathematician named Frederick Hoffman in 1896 went to Congress and told Congress, if you deny the Negro medical health care, he will die in 2 generations. This is 1896. In 1910, we had grown from 7.5 million in 1870 to 10 million in 1910. And we owned 16 million acres of land by 1910, even though they never gave us no 40 acres of the mule.
Mm.
We bought that ourselves. And that's why the USDA was set up to take that land back from us that we had bought ourselves. Because we were not trying to get rich when we bought land. We were trying to survive because the white man was not going to sell us no food, no clothing, no shelter, no medicine. We couldn't even come to town. The police versus Ferguson, it was set up in 1896, wasn't about you drinking at a water fountain. It was about you not coming to town and dying in the wilderness. That's who you're dealing with. And every time we come out, we survive. They come with a new trick. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, don't fall for this last trick, integration. And we fell for it. And now we own nothing. They ran super highways. You heard of Black Wall Street, right? 1921, it was bombed, right? Did you know in 1926, we built it back? And it was bigger than it was before. And then in 1971, they ran 2 super highways right through it, right through Greenwood in St. Louis, and wiped it out forever. Not only did they wipe out Black Wall Street in in Tulsa, they wiped out 90 Black commercial districts across the country, 90, between 1956 and 1971. They wiped out segregated business districts, wiped them out, built malls on the outskirts of town, and you have to drive to the mall, and you can go there and spend your money, integrated money. But guess what? You ain't got no segregated money no more. You ain't got no money that you transfer from each other goods and services. Now you take it all, you work on the white man's job, and you take your money right back to the white man. They're good. They got away with it until the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan reestablished the economic blueprint of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he came down to Georgia and he bought this land at the same time that he brought 2 million Black men up to Washington, D.C. So when the cracker saw, he saw 2 million soldiers and the land to feed them soldiers. All praise is due to Allah, who came to us in the person of the Honorable Master Farad Muhammad, passed on the Godship to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and passed it on to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he kicking behind all the time. And he gonna do it again at Savior's Day. Just waiting at Savior's Day to see Minister Farrakhan kick Satan's behind again. All praises due to Allah. And maybe this time we'll listen too and do more than just applaud, but go home and do some work. Let's put it into action. Let's back him up. Let's second that emotion. Let's dance. He's singing. Let's dance. Let's make it happen.
All praises is due to Allah. Oh my gosh. This was beautiful. This was like...
Oh, because the wheat came up. If the wheat didn't come up, I have a sour puts face on.
Well, I'm glad that wheat came up because this was beautiful. Yes, yes. All praises is due to Allah. I just want to thank you so very much, Dr. Ridgely, for taking this opportunity to join me on this show today. I am so grateful you found time to join me to talk about this important, profound, and well-needed topic, the farming, the foundation of human survival. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and healing tribe. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining us today. I pray that this episode was informative, as it definitely was for me. Informative, valuable, and healing to you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast station. Closing the Gap broadcast on Facebook, CTG broadcast on YouTube, and Healing with Angelica podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help spread this message of healing to those in need. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey and don't know where to start, Healing with Angelica is here for you to assist. I am offering one-on-ones to help get you started on your healing journey. More information to schedule your call will be shown in the comment section below, including Healing with Angelica merch. I'm just going to show a few that we have here. Healing with Angelica merch here. Let me go down the screen just to show you some of the merch here. We have some of our customers rocking the Healing with Angelica merch. All praises is due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. Also, friendly reminder, please, any purchases that you make is to help to sustain and support Healing with Angelica. So please keep that in mind, as inshallah, we are planning to expand. Also, if you all or you know anyone or yourself are in need of prayer, please, Healing with Angelica is here and would like to send a special prayer to you, and you can do that by emailing us at healwithangelica@yahoo.com. Dr. Ridgely, OMG, before we end today's show, do you have any closing remarks for our audience today?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me on. You know, you invited me to come on last week, right? And I told you, no way, because I'd be in the middle of planting wheat. And so I said I should be finished by this week. And all praise due to Allah, we're successful. That's why I'm smiling.
Yes.
So thank you so much. We definitely need a healing. And the truth, only truth will set us free. You see, we are human beings. We're not animals. Animals come with instinct. We don't come with instinct. We have to be taught. But if we've been taught a lie, if the enemy has taught us wrong, then we will act wrong. We will not know cause and effect, and therefore be able to affect what we want to, because we understand the cause. He's messed that up with us. So we must have truth so that we can put the circuits in our minds in a correct framework so we can think properly, make proper decisions, and do what's necessary for the time and what must be done. Mm-hmm. So this is what we're just trying to do, is to get you to be able to change your mind and save your behind. Assalamu alaikum.
All praises due to Allah. Thank you so much again, Dr. Ridgely, for joining us. And I, again, want to thank my beautiful and amazing audience as well. I love you all. And we leave you all as we came. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, healing, and light.
Alaikum salam.